Hello everybody, this is Secution. I hope you all are having a good day. Give me just a sec, I'm just checking some stuff. Sorry about earlier, everything broke on me and it took me like an hour, but I think I've got it all fixed. Um, we'll see. I'm keeping an eye on stuff. If the problem recurs, I'm gonna have to shut down and we'll just do this another day. This is a game called Henchman. You play as the henchman of a supervillain who basically falls in with other characters. It's a really cool game. I started playing a ways back and never finished. I love it, and I want to actually get back to it because I'm streaming early morning and I just like it. It's basically a visual novel, so it's a lot of me reading, but there are voice actors for all of the main characters, which I deeply appreciate because they did a really good job, and hire VAs for your games. So, if you just want to chill with me while I go through this, thanks for hanging out. And last time, just to kind of recap, we basically left the lair of our former employer and joined up with a duo of superheroes who helped us to escape, and now we're kind of planning what our next move is. So, here we go. My eyes opened to the sight of the stars, peering down through the apartment skylight. At first I rub my eyes, wondering if my vision is just spotty, but even after that they remain. Damn, I really was wiped. How long was I out? With a groan, I ease myself upright and glance around. Though rationally I remember where I am, I still feel out of place waking up here, like it's part of a dream.
There he is. Now, are you waking up, or is this zombie Stan rising from the grave? Seriously, you sleep like a corpse, dude. Not a twitch.
So this is Victoria. She's one of the heroes who helped us to escape from a life of being a henchman. She is kind of like Natasha Irons or Iron Man or Ironheart. She's a cyber tech hero who has a suit of armor.
Ugh, just been a long 24 hours. You know that. Not to mention someone made it worse by waking me at the ass crack of dawn this morning.
Well, how could I know that you're such an incoherent grump when you wake up? Besides, if I hadn't done that, you wouldn't even have that nice couch to nap on. So quit grumbling.
We have a nice couch.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I shift into a sitting position and glance over at Victoria. She's sitting cross-legged on the floor nearby, an array of parts and tools scattered around her. She seems to be building or repairing something. Before I can see what it is, she casually moves it behind her back, and I think about asking, but I find myself more following a different train of thought.
I think you're the weird one with all this energy after the day we've had. Where's it coming from? Don't tell me you gave yourself an atomic heart or something.
No way. Miss me with that cyborg stuff. That'd be hard enough even with a well-funded team, much less operating on myself like some kind of back-alley cyberpunk surgeon. Also, technically, a cybernetic heart wouldn't have anything to do with sleep, so...
Yes, well, technically, actually, indubitably, you're too intellectually superior for sleep.
Oh, shut up. I'm just used to it. A good 4-ish hours of rest and a jug of caffeine is all I need to keep my engines purring.
Chat, this is your reminder. Please remember to hydrate yourselves, sleep regularly, and do not be Victoria when it comes to your living habits.
That's gotta catch up to you sooner or later, though.
Maybe, but I've got all my chips on later. As for now...
Victoria pops up from the floor, still concealing the item she was working on. Briefly, she tries to sweep the remaining tools and parts under the coffee table with her feet. It doesn't really work, but I pretend not to notice.
I hope you're feeling rested. Because I've got something cool to show you. Come on.
Victoria starts walking backwards, a spring in her step, and her hands hidden behind her back. She looks like she's fighting the urge to skip.
You're making me nervous with all this enthusiasm. Is this some kind of prank?
Oh, come on! Would I ever deceive you? Actually, don't answer that. Just get your butt over here. You'll like it. I promise.
Yes, you actively deceived us. That's how we met. She beckons me over with one hand while the other continues to keep her surprise out of sight. With a sigh of resignation, I start to follow her across the room.
When we take down Madam Scorpion, Dynamo and I will do most of the heavy lifting. But there's still a good chance that you'll have to enter a combat situation. Or, at the very least, need to defend yourself. Honestly, after seeing you in action, I can say you're a cut above your average mook. But this is going to be a lot tougher than you're used to. They'll have the numbers, and then there's Scorpion.
I've been beaten up by superheroes my whole life. We come to a stop in the apartment's home gym. It's padded floor beneath our
Is
feet.
this leading to a sweet martial arts training montage? Because if so, I have a few suggestions for the soundtrack. What are your thoughts on synthwave post-punk?
What, in a day? Oh, hell no. Your footwork alone would take months to correct. You do this weird tippy-tap thing like an excited dog, and, well, it's a mess down there. Sorry, that sounded too harsh. What I mean is that we don't have the time to upgrade your software. So instead, we're going to upgrade your hardware. Close your eyes.
Okay, close your eyes, chat. Oh, okay. So we do get to make choices. Yes, we will.
Right.
We will close our eyes.
Trusting you.
Good. You'll like it. I promise. Now, just relax.
I close my eyes and let out a deep breath. I hear Victoria slowly step forward. She's close, maybe a step away when she finally stops. For a second, I hear and feel nothing but my own heartbeat. Then I feel her fingers graze the back of my left hand, hesitating for just a moment before gently grabbing it and guiding it upward.
Hold your hand out, just like this, alright?
All right.
Her hand moves to my wrist, and I hear a whir of machinery as something cold and heavy slips over my hand. Even through my glove, I can tell it's metallic. Victoria guides my arm through the mysterious object. By the time it stops, Victoria's hand is on my elbow, and the metal object has enclosed my forearm.
Might feel a pinch.
Suddenly, the metal object clamps down tighter, but thanks to Victoria's assurance, I resist the urge to flinch. Much.
There. Okay, you can open your eyes.
Oh, we got a thingy. I open my eyes to find Victoria smiling up at me with one hand still steadying my left arm. It's now adorned in a futuristic half-gauntlet painted white, blue, and gold. Shiny Nova's colors. Her colors. Are we a sidekick?
Well, how does it feel?
Snug, but not too tight. Honestly, it's, well,
Perfect, right?
I rotate my arm to inspect the other side, but the gauntlet doesn't shift or rattle. It's like a tailored suit.
perfect. How'd you do it?
I got your measurements while you were asleep, obviously.
That is very sus.
Right, obviously.
I turn my attention away from the gauntlet and look her in the eye.
Victoria. I mean it.
You're welcome, Stan.
The silence hangs. Victoria opens her mouth to speak, but only a sharp breath comes out. 3 heartbeats pass before she finally tears her gaze away from mine, abruptly fussing over the gauntlet.
Anyway, this isn't just a piece of jewelry. Not only does it bring out your eyes, but it's got a lot of practical functionality. Here,
Oh yeah?
let me show you.
She grasps the gauntlet in one hand and my bicep in the other, raising my arm so that it's aimed outward. The adjustment brings us closer, like we're practicing a dance instead.
First, always aim with your entire arm, not just your wrist or forearm, and try to bring it to eye level when you can. Like this. Now, when you're ready, quickly touch your thumb to your middle finger, then your ring finger.
Got it. Middle, ring.
Okay. As soon as I complete the motion, a small cannon emerges from the gauntlet, and I feel a device slide into my palm. I twitch a little in surprise, but Victoria steadies my hand.
Holy shit. Is this like one of yours?
It's closer to the one I had this morning than one on my suit, but it still packs a punch, so be careful. That mechanism in your palm is the trigger. When you don't need it, you can retract it with the same finger pattern.
Same
Ooh.
pattern. That's middle finger, then ring finger, right?
I'm gonna have to remember that, aren't I? I repeat the motion and the cannon,
There you go,
cannon
just like
retracts.
that. You're a natural.
She looks back at me, our eyes meet, and the silence hangs once more. This time I lose count of the heartbeats that pass before either of us can break it.
There's more to show you.
Right, yeah, of course.
We break eye contact and each take a step back.
So, this might be a weird thing to ask, but do you remember what we talked about during that tour of Lord Bedlam's lair?
We talked about a lot of stuff, didn't we? Did you mean something specific?
As we talk, I notice that Victoria has deliberately backed up several steps, though I'm not sure why.
Yeah, actually, it was near the start of the tour. You told me where you went to college, and then...
And then we talked about your writing hobby, right? I still think it's cool that you'd give that a go, even if it's out of your wheelhouse. And even if you use the word orbs to describe your character's eyes in our SNS game.
Oh, get over it. Eyes are round, orbs are round. It makes perfect sense.
It
But
totally works.
Anyway,
That
Do
works.
you remember the name of the book I tried writing? The really
Oh
awful one?
god, that was so long ago.
It had the name of a moon in it, right? Something like the Lost Princess of Europa?
As soon as the words leave my mouth, the gauntlet hums with energy, and then a flash of light. A glowing blue shield bursts to life around it.
Holy shit!
I flail my arm out of instinct as if to shake the shield right off of it, but it's futile. It's attached to the gauntlet, much like Madame Scorpion's energy sword is attached to its hilt. In fact, it might be made of the same stuff. I move my arm up and down, examining the shield as it moves. It's semi-transparent and weightless, like a hologram. Cautiously, I reach out and give it a tap. It feels solid.
It'll take a lot more than that to get through. Trust me. You couldn't crack this thing with a 50 cal. I mean, it would knock you right on your ass, but it wouldn't get penetration. Should block Scorpion's sword, too.
Thank God,
Just
she's
say
scary.
those magic words, and presto! Instant protection. And if you say them again...
The Princess of Europa.
The shield retracts back into the gauntlet.
Wow, that's... I wasn't expecting it, but that definitely makes me feel a lot less, you know, disposable.
I lower the gauntlet and turn to Victoria. I can't believe she just whipped this up for me, even if she had some spare equipment lying around to work with. It's impressive. More than that, it's just really nice. I open my mouth to say thank you, but Victoria stops me with a gesture.
Don't thank me yet. I have one last thing to show you.
She slowly steps forward and reaches into her pocket. At first, I think it could be another gadget, but when her hand emerges, it appears to be a small slip of paper.
I know you don't really need this, but...
She continues to step forward until she's as close as she was when she was teaching me how to use the gauntlet. Closer, even. Only then does she show me what's on the slip of paper. A name tag with Stan written on
I
it.
figured it was appropriate.
She grins, peels off the name tag with a flourish, and places it on my chest, right over my henchman identification number.
Yeah, I guess it is.
Aww. I really like that. We're not just a number anymore, chat. We're Stan. I actually really like that. That's a sweet moment. My eyes move from the name tag and stop on Victoria's. I don't even bother counting the heartbeats this time, but I do notice that her hand hasn't left my chest.
I can't believe you did all this. And I really can't believe that you made the Princess of Europa the activation code for that shield.
She laughs, a mixture of mirth and mischief.
Come on, I had to make something mildly embarrassing about it after all that "let me tell you something" rookie crap. Besides, that was really the first time we met. I mean, sure, we'd seen each other on the job, but that was when I felt like we met each other.
The lack of tranquilizers helped.
Yeah, she tranquilized us a lot.
Well, sure, but I usually don't talk about my writing hobby, and not just because it's, well, embarrassingly bad. It's just personal. Something that's mine as much as a secret identity. It helped turn me into who I am. But for some reason, I felt like I could talk about it with you, and you'd understand. Like we...
Like we what? Like we have something special, or we're old friends? Ooh. Chat, I have to tell you a terrible secret. I am a romantic at heart.
Like we have something special.
Yeah, that's exactly it. You can thank me for the gifts now.
Oh. I stare down at her for a moment. Her hand is still pressed on my chest, and her eyes have a glint of playful mischief to them that makes it easy to smile back at her.
Thank you.
The corners of her lip twitch upwards, and her hand starts to slide up my chest.
That's all? Oh, come on. You can do better than that.
Her hand reaches my shoulder, and I find my own slipping around her waist as she inches closer.
Should I shower you with compliments? Thank you, oh talented and beautiful superhero icon, Shining Nova, ma'am.
She presses herself up against me, and I can feel her light, breathless laughter as it escapes her. Her hand grips my shoulder.
It's a start.
Slowly, she pulls herself up towards me. I feel her breath on my lips, and my eyes start to close.
Wait, hold on.
Wait, what? Slowly, she starts to pull back, leaving the breath from her words dancing on my lips, but nothing more. Her hand slides down from my shoulder, and with a sheepish smile of apology, she backs away.
Sorry, I got caught up in the moment and just, I don't know, got put on autopilot or something.
Oh no, it's okay. I wasn't complaining, trust me.
I promise this
Glad you
isn't a
did.
dating sim, everybody.
Sorry.
It's really not. I clear my throat and take a deep breath to slow my pounding heartbeat. Shit, did I do something? Did I not do something?
I'm glad too that you feel the same way. I mean, and the other stuff. I wouldn't do that sort of thing if I didn't want to, but
She shakes her head and exhales.
give me a second.
Yeah, I need a second. Whew. She closes her eyes and takes another breath, and when her eyes open, there's a look there I recognize. That patented shiny Nova resolve.
For someone like me, my life isn't just about what I want. It hasn't been for years, and it may never be again. So I have to be careful about this kind of thing. I can't just jump in. And that's not me making an excuse. It's just, well, it's just how my life is. It's how I am. I need to pause and evaluate.
Right, that does sound like you when you say it like that. Not that you'd ever know from your carefree, impulsive lifestyle. Seriously though, it's cool. I can pause for as long as you need. I'll even have a recap ready for when you get back.
It won't be that long, I promise. This isn't me stopping anything. Like I said, it's a start. I want this.
Aww. She grins mischievously and folds her hands behind her back, reluctantly sliding further away.
But for tonight, why don't you try getting the hang of that gauntlet while I go prep for tomorrow? Okay?
Okay.
I wave the gauntlet around a little and
I guess
shrug.
some practice would be good. I'd rather not blast my face off with this thing.
Yeah, that would be
I'd rather
bad.
You didn't either. That would definitely affect our evaluation.
By now, Victoria has backed all the way to the door to her bedroom. She reaches for the handle.
Victoria, I wanted to.
She smirks.
I know.
I do like her. She's a fun character, and her VA did a really good job. She has a cool design. With that, she steps into her room and closes the door. I take a deep breath and rub my temple. Damn, she is something. I shake my head to get rid of the butterflies. Ball's in her court now. I just need to give her some space and maybe figure out how to use this gift of hers while I'm at it. I like that, though. Like, we didn't rush into anything, you know? We've only known each other for, like, a day, and she's got a lot going on. You know, give her some space to evaluate and decide if she's ready for something. Come on, Stan, pull it together. You'll have all night to dream. Right now, you should get to work. And work I did, practicing my aim and wielding the gauntlet shield until late into the night. Under normal circumstances, I probably wouldn't stay up so late, but the conversation I had with Victoria just keeps playing over and over again in my head. Even after such a long day, her words and her smile power me forward with an energy I didn't know I had. I've got to get this right, for her. I don't bother checking the time when I finally collapse back on the couch, and before I can set an alarm, I'm fast asleep. Set alarms. I will sleep through alarms. Ooh. Morning comes and the rosy fingers of dawn reach out and slap me right across the face. So despite my late night, I'm up early yet again. In hindsight, I really should have asked Victoria if her windows had any blinds. Luckily, my nap seems to have made up the difference, and by the time I've devoured another bowl of Hero O's and taken a shower, I find myself fully energized, not to mention a little less pungent. I pull the shirt Victoria left me over my head and exit the bathroom. It's a lot more comfortable than my uniform, but I'm not sure why it says Postboy on it. Must be a brand.
Hey, nice shirt.
Oh, it's the muscly hero, Miss Dynamo, who punched us in the face repeatedly. I jump in surprise, nearly tripping over myself as I turn to face Miss Dynamo, who is leaning up against a nearby wall. Out of instinct, I take a cautious step backwards.
Easy there, sunshine. No need to be so jumpy.
Isn't there? Because yesterday, well...
What about yesterday?
You threatened me?
You threatened me, remember?
Oh yeah, I did.
So that's really it then? You're over it? I'm not gonna turn my back and get stuffed into a mailbox when I least expect it?
Only for fun, not spite. I save my real blacklist for people who do the wrong thing on purpose, like a certain arachnid. As long as you do the best you can and stay true to you, your ass will be postage free.
Hey, I like that. As long as you do your best and stay true to you.
Just
I like
don't
that.
go thinking it's because you're special or anything. I forgave Captain Commander, and he tried to impale me with a flagpole when he was being mind-controlled. Nova just really trusts you, that's all. I've run through brick walls for that little nerd, even when she didn't want me to. So if you let her down, it won't be a mailbox or dumpster you end up in. It'll be a volcano.
Oh, good.
Okay.
That's reassuring.
That's just what a budding relationship needs, I think. The looming threat of someone with godlike power sending me straight to the Earth's core if it doesn't go well. Better keep things discreet for now.
So maybe you can settle this. Is his name...
Oh, see, Captain Commander was what he called himself before being mind-controlled. Now he's Captain Commodore. That's where all the confusion comes from. Or, wait, was it the other way around?
Oh, hey, you're here early.
Victoria steps out of her room with a laptop and an overstuffed binder, which she places on a nearby table.
Hey, I'm always punctual, ain't I?
Only if we're going by Dynamo Standard Time.
DST.
Seriously, did you just come here to intimidate Stan again?
No, we just had a nice chat. In fact, we're getting along famously. Ain't we, sunshine?
She's starting to throw me into a volcano. Before I can respond, I hear a whoosh and I feel a finger poke in the side of my head. Even a teasing tap like that sends me stumbling, and by the time I've recovered, Dynamo is propped up against a pillar, grinning impishly. I do like Dynamo.
Like a secret lair on fire.
Good! I knew you two could learn to coexist. And how about our other friend? Did he behave himself?
Yep, just followed me around in his usual creepy silence.
Dynamo jerks her thumb over in the direction of Victoria's workbench, where the shiny Nova suit that had left with her yesterday stands like a statue.
Don't tell me you're gonna get on me about giving it a voice too.
Gotta admit, it might be useful.
And awesome. Just imagine, you're out in the field, and suddenly... Listen, you're looking right schmick out there, but me power's at 50 bloomin' %, so be a mite and give me a charge, yeah?
Or how about a Russian one? No, Scottish.
You know, I think you two might be worse when you're working together. And my suit won't be getting a voice no matter what the accent is. At least not until we've taken care of the matter at hand.
Yeah.
I think I finally got a winning plan that's going to take down Scorpion, but it's going to take a lot of work from all of us. So focus up. Though first, I need some coffee. Stan, would you mind helping me with that?
Coffee.
Sure.
Victoria heads to the kitchenette and I follow. Dynamo raises a suspicious eyebrow but doesn't object. As Victoria fills up her coffee maker with water, I grab a pair of mugs.
So, about last night, I'm still, evaluating, but I don't regret it. I just want you to know that.
I don't either.
Good, because I don't either.
Oh, I can tell. Got a little pep in your step.
Does PEP net me any points in the evaluation? Because if so, I've got more where that came from.
I can neither confirm nor deny the inner workings of the process, but we'll see. Just... let's try to keep this to ourselves for now, okay? I promise we'll talk more later, but for now, there's still a lot to do, and...
She casts a knowing glance in Dynamo's direction, and I nod in understanding. I do not want to be hurled into a volcano.
Yeah, I get it. Take your time. I'm not going anywhere.
Soon enough, the coffee is ready, and we return from the kitchenette to find Dynamo picking up one of Victoria's workbenches and setting it gently down in the middle of the apartment. Apparently, this is standard procedure because Victoria doesn't even acknowledge it. She just sets about getting her laptop hooked up to something and spreading the sheets of paper from her binder across the table. Okay, so with a shrug, I grab a stool and sit down across from Dynamo, though I use both hands. Not long after, Victoria has activated a holographic display of some kind, though it's looking a little
I
cluttered.
swear, you've always got 1,000 tabs open.
Because I always have a lot to do, okay? There's a system.
Don't question the tabs.
There's always a system.
It's a system! Victoria clears her throat and hastily clears the room, clears the display, leaving only images of Lord Bedlam, Madam Scorpion, and Lord Bedlam's lair.
Anyway, let's recap the situation. Scorpion Group's latest product, the Henchman mobile app, was rolled out to 22 low-grade supervillains since it went into beta this summer. The latest being Lord Bedlam. Each of those supervillains engage in heists at server farms and data science facilities across the globe, just weeks after enrolling in the app. Bedlam was no exception, but when we intervened...
Bitchface Supreme showed up personally to get in the way.
Yeah.
Yes, Madam Scorpion countered in person. That told us 3 things. 1, there was more to this than an app. 2, whatever it was, she had to be close to her goal to show her hand like that. And 3, there was something special about Lord Bedlam.
It's the
I'm
voice.
sorry, time out. Did you say there was something special about Lord Bedlam? The same Lord Bedlam that robbed a pet store last month.
That's exactly what I
We were
said,
stealing dog food,
which is why
chat. We
Lil
were
was
not
super
harming
spy
animals.
over
I
here
feel that's an
decided to
important
investigate
disclaimer.
in person.
After doing a little financial sleuthing, of course.
She gestures to some of the papers that are spread across the table. Receipts, tax information, all leading to Lord Bedlam.
That's how I knew he was building something. I just didn't know what or where. Luckily, Scorpion was using Henchman to reload his roster, and you know the rest.
Right. So she used him to build the world's largest, most evil custom PC in existence. She stole a bunch of data, and she's crowdsourcing henchmen. How is it all connected?
I wasn't sure either. Not until I was around her long enough to confirm something about her. Remember that important little detail I told you yesterday morning?
Her powers, your identity.
Her powers?
Exactly. These are all tools that she can use in perfect harmony with her own superhuman abilities. Before I was able to see her operate up close, the idea of her cerebral superprocessing was just a theory. Most of her abilities were. She rarely steps into the limelight, and when she does, she leaves a smokescreen.
Like a ninja.
And a stench. But you're right. I've taken her on more than anyone, and I still can't nail down exactly what she's capable of.
Yeah, and you're super strong and super fast. You can fly.
Until last night, you mean?
Exactly. It may have been a simple game of spells and swords, but she couldn't resist the temptation to show her dominance, even if it tipped her hand.
Maybe she thought it wouldn't matter as long as she killed you before you could act on it.
Or maybe she was too busy recruiting the henchman of the month here. She seemed pretty impressed with you.
She's
Or at
scary.
least, like, merge all the computers into her brain through a big pillar of light. I always thought these things needed a pillar of light.
Yeah, 100%.
In any event, when you take her power into account, things begin to make sense.
With a few taps on her keyboard, Victoria starts flipping through more images on the hologram of other villains and their layers from across the world. Soon they all show up on a map.
The data that Lord Bedlam and the other villains in the Henchman beta program stole is on these servers on a private network, which she can connect to through...
The app, the Hearts of Men, Scorpions. The app.
The Henchman app.
Bingo! Not only does it give her a mercenary army of henchmen to use at will, it also gives her direct access to her network at thousands of locations around the world. As long as a phone with Henchman installed is nearby, she can connect and put her cerebral superprocessing into overdrive. It'll be like she's a chess supercomputer on steroids. She'll be impossible to outmaneuver.
Well, if we can't outsmart her, then we'll just have to overpower her.
I'm not sure that'll be an option either. If she can make her calculations fast enough.
She could, like, never let you lay a hand on her.
That's why the 3 of us are putting a stop to it tomorrow.
You mean the 2 of you are stopping it while I get you water bottles and orange slices, right? Look, I said I'd help, but this sounds nuts. And it's like I said when you asked why I became a henchman. I don't do well with big expectations. Sometimes on purpose, and sometimes, well, because I just can't live up to them. I don't see what I bring to the table here. If Scorpion's got all this going for her, what the hell can I do?
Come on, Stan, we got our name tag, got our fancy new blaster.
I'm getting to that, but you really need to stop selling yourself short.
Have confidence in yourself, chat.
To hell with expectations. I wouldn't be shining Nova if I just did what was expected of me. Being a superhero takes an independent spirit, and honestly, I think you have that. You're here because you chose to be, not because anyone ordered you to or it was what you were supposed to do, and that's exactly why you're able to help.
All right. So, what sort of help am I providing then?
Like I said, I'm getting to that.
Victoria clears the holographic display and brings up a map of the secret lair. It's not complete, but it's accurate. She probably made it while she was undercover.
If the escape hatch in the cafeteria isn't on any existing maps of the lair, then it's in her power's blind spot. That means she may not have found it yet.
A dot appears in the cafeteria loading bay, followed by the word Alpha.
So, our Alpha team will enter there, but only after our Beta team has forcibly entered through a more visible entrance here.
A dot appears in the main chamber marked as Beta.
Beta's goal is to destroy all the transports. What are they called again, Stan?
Bedlam copters.
Bedlam copters.
Seriously? Well, they can't be that dangerous if they're named after that dweeb.
But they can still fly, so we need to neutralize them to prevent any escapes. Luckily, their exit in the roof of the chamber is a perfect entryway for an airborne incursion. Beta team's job is to bust through that exit, destroy or disable the, Bedlam copters, and then engage the inevitable reinforcements.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Alpha team will covertly enter through the cafeteria and fight its way to the supercomputer chamber.
Okay. A swarm of red X's moves from across the base to the main chamber, where a green line winds its way through the halls until it reaches the supercomputer.
Once there, Alpha team will upload a malware package to the supercomputer that should get the whole network stuck in a loop. At least, I hope. I just finished it last night, so testing hasn't been robust.
Okay.
But if it works, then it should give us a chance to incapacitate Madam Scorpion and escape.
That's what I like to hear. Only problem is, why is my team Beta team? I should be Alpha team this time. That's bullshit.
How do you know you're Beta team? I never said you were.
It's the Smash Shit team, and the other one is Sneaky Cybercode team. It's not hard to do the math.
Fine, you're right. Alpha team is Stan and I, and you're...
Just say Dynamo for God's sake.
Okay, you're just Dynamo then. But one other thing, and don't be mad. If Scorpion shows up, you briefly engage and then retreat.
What? Why?
Because until we take down that system, she's too dangerous. And she's fought you before. In fact, she's gone out of her way to fight you. It sets off alarm bells, like she's counting on your interference.
So what? I can take her. Even with that nanotech or whatever she's got pumped into her, she's not as strong as me.
I don't want Dynamo to get hurt.
She knows that, but she avoided me and attacked you at the data science lab anyway. Something's not right about it.
Yeah, that is weird.
Promise to play it safe. Please?
Yeah, be careful.
Don't give me the puppy look. Fine. I'll be careful, alright?
Good. Then that leaves Stan and I as Alpha team.
Alpha team!
You really know how to treat a guy. Will dinner be before or after the raid on the supervillain hideout?
Oh wait. Victoria suddenly tenses and shoots me a surprised look. Oh, whoops, I forgot we were trying to keep this contained.
You know, what do you guys normally do after an operation? Like, is there a superhero bar you guys go to, or...?
Who says you're invited, Sunshine? Though it would be pretty funny to drink you under the table.
Dynamo laughs and I breathe a sigh of relief as the clue whizzes over her head.
Well, that's all getting a little ahead of ourselves, isn't it? Anyway, that covers the high-level plan. If it goes smoothly, I'll handle the malware activation myself. But just in case, you'll both have backup drives. They'll be plug and play, but a little slower than if I hook in directly.
Okay,
Any
so we've got a
questions?
backup, we got redundancies, we got a plan.
Sort of. I mean, Scorpion's plan definitely seems dangerous, but shouldn't she be threatening to blow something up? Or at least, like, merge all the computers into her brain through a big pillar of light? I always thought these things needed a pillar of light.
Not her style. Megabitch Prime doesn't go for those over-the-top stunts. She still thinks like an assassin. It's the blade you don't see that kills you.
That's part of why she's so dangerous. We get so distracted by the loud Lord Bedlam types out there that supervillains like her too often work unnoticed. And by the time we see them, well, that won't happen this time.
Damn right! Man, I can't wait to see the look on that stupid, slimy face.
Victoria shuts off the hologram and exhales before gesturing to the papers scattered across the
Anyway,
table.
I printed out some additional intel for you guys to take a look at. I need to tune up Kepler, but just holler if anything else comes up.
Homework? On printed paper? You're killing me, Victoria.
And if you're not prepared, Scorpion might actually kill you, so quit whining. We leave from here at 5:35 tomorrow morning, so we don't have much time. But if we work together and follow the plan, I know we'll succeed.
It's not exactly the Gettysburg Address, but something about Victoria's words motivates me all the same, and while Dynamo continues to protest, I find myself gathering up a few sheets and getting to work. Maybe it's the very fact that it's not a grand call to arms that I find so effective. I'm not being commanded into battle, I'm being talked to like an equal, even though I know I'm really not. The three of us split off to different corners of the apartment, and time flies as we set about preparing. Victoria quietly works on her suit, and I do my best to memorize her reports. Eventually, Miss Dynamo flies off, ostensibly to go on a patrol for a while, to throw a red herring out there, but I don't think that fools Victoria. Based on how she shrugged it off, she probably expected it. Okay. When my eyes start to hurt from reading, I wash my uniform, stuff some cereal down my gullet, and practice more with the gauntlet Victoria gave me while she puts her suit through the paces. At first, the weightlessness of the shield threw my brain for a loop, but now I'm getting the hang of it, as much as I can get the hang of anything with all these butterflies in my stomach. Some of them are from what awaits me tomorrow, but the rest are blue, white, and gold. Should I say anything? No, I said I'd give her time, and I meant it. Tomorrow's important. I shouldn't distract her with something like that, but tomorrow's uncertain too. What if I embarrass myself or mess things up, and the electricity of the moment is gone? What if we already lost it and I haven't realized it yet? What if...
Jesus Christ!
I jump... Oh, sorry. I set alarms for myself because I lose track of time. I jump and nearly smack myself in the head with my shield as I turn to face the intruder, who turns out to be Victoria in her full shiny Nova regalia. I let out a sigh of relief and verbally deactivate my shield.
What's wrong? Having a painful flashback to the day we met?
Hey, I held my own in that fight.
Something like that.
Before
Sorry,
you trank
I was
darted me.
spaced out. Is it dark outside? When did that happen?
Victoria's suit cracks open and she steps out. She wipes a lock of hair out of her eyes and stretches out her shoulder. Light catches the glint of sweat on her skin and that glint of whiskey in her eye. I'm staring, I know, but this time I don't try to hide it.
Still early, but you must really be in orbit if you miss the sun setting. Is something on your mind?
Ah! I open my mouth to reply, but I hesitate halfway there. No, that's too direct, isn't it? I shake my head and hold up the gauntlet.
Oh, you know, just this gift of yours. Still trying to get used to it and... who am I kidding?
I pull the gauntlet off and set it aside, taking in a sharp breath. I turn to face Victoria. This time I don't stop myself.
Victoria,
Need a break? Good, me too. In fact, that's why I came to check on you.
Before I can respond, she grabs my hand and pulls me forward. Wait, is she stepping back into the suit? Hold on.
Let's get a breath of fresh air.
Oh no.
Holy shit!
Suddenly my feet leave the ground and we're rocketing upwards. My eyes are forced to close as the cold night air whips across my face, and my stomach drops so fast it's as though it's been left behind entirely. Then, just when my heart feels like it can't beat any faster, the roar of the thrusters quiets and our pace slows until, at last, it feels like we've come to a stop. I still don't feel anything beneath my legs. For a moment they flail in reflexive panic, but then a voice soothes my nerves and opens my eyes.
Just relax. I've got you.
Aww.
You okay?
Yeah, actually. Are you? You're looking, a little exposed.
Of course I am. I'm still in the driver's seat, and I just cracked the window a little.
So you've done this before.
Oh, hell no. This is a first.
It does seem a little risky for you.
Yeah, but I want to take risks with you.
I didn't notice that we'd pulled so close. Our lips meet and all my senses are overwhelmed by the surge of electricity, even more potent than before. When at last we part, we don't need to speak. For a long moment, we just hold each other close, floating silently among the stars.
It's peaceful up here. With you.
Oh no. I don't know how to flirt. Oh god. I'm gonna be cringe, but I'm gonna be free, chat!
It's beautiful, but it can't compare to you.
You cornball. Cut it out.
But I was just about to dust off my poetry skills. Oh, Victoria, I could compare thee to a twinkling star.
Yep.
I could drop you. right now.
Nah, you'd miss me too much. You'd catch me.
Yeah, I would. I promise. Just as long as you promise to hold on to me.
I will. Promise. Oh, Victoria, how shall I cling to thee? Let me count the ways.
Oh my god, shut up!
Still laughing, she leans in and I happily oblige. And so we drift through the starry night, the starry sky, filling the clouds with lightning for who knows how long. I can't say I've been keeping track. I've lost all concern for time. But I know from that moment she took my hand to the moment we last drift off to sleep, entwined together in her bed, it will be a night that lasts forever for both of us. Aww. I like that. It's romantic. Hey, issue 8, Into the Breach.
Ah, look at that! The ground didn't even crack. I told you I could do a stealth dive from that height.
Not bad. I admit, I was fully expecting the usual crater.
Well, one of us had to have a graceful landing, and it wasn't going to be you while you were carrying that cargo.
I'm a passenger, thank you very much. I bought a ticket and everything.
Yeah, I'm not cargo. As Victoria settles me down, I straighten up to the full height and dust myself off, trying to puff out my chest a little. It does nothing to remove the shit-eating grin on Dynamo's face.
If you think he looks like luggage now, you should have seen him the first time.
Hey.
Gee, thanks for the backup. And for the record, I was perfectly composed up until that dive. Why did we have to do that from so high up anyway?
Best way to get in undetected. Fly high, dive fast, land quiet.
But ain't nothing gonna be quiet about this next part.
But it will be careful, right?
Yes, shining stick in the mud, I'll be careful. Frankly, I'm more worried about you. You're the one with the escort mission, and those are always the worst. You sure you don't need a minute to review?
Victoria tilts her helmet in my direction, and I swear the lights on her visor blink as if she's winking.
I think we're on the same page.
Oh yeah, same paragraph even.
Think we could get it down to the same sentence?
Depends on the wording, but I'm sure we could find one or two that we're in sync on.
What in the hell are you two nerds even talking about anymore?
Oh, just an inside joke. You know, from,
All the research we did last night. Lots of intel, lots of reading, verbs, adjectives, all sorts of interjections. Boring stuff.
We're gonna be thrown into a volcano chat.
boring. You're lucky you snuck out early. You'd have hated it.
You know something? I don't doubt it. You two are so freaking weird.
Victoria and I share a glance, and I can practically see the playful grin lurking somewhere behind that helmet.
Well, whatever. If you're ready to get this party started, then so am I. Let's do this already.
Give me just a sec, chat. My mic is messing up. One sec. There we go. Sorry about that. It was just my thing was... I couldn't hear what it was saying.
Roger that. Go raise some hell.
When don't I? See you on the other side, sister.
And like that, Miss Dynamo is off, a black and blue blur zigzagging her way through the forest, kicking up leaves in her wake. I have to bat a few away from my face. When we're both sure she's gone, Victoria and I share a look and immediately start laughing.
This isn't gonna stay a secret for very long, is it?
And whose fault is that? All sorts of interjections? God, you're the worst. Though, honestly, I don't care if it's a secret once this is over. At least where my friends are concerned.
Really? I thought there'd be a whole rule book. You know, a system.
Well, kind of. But we'll figure that out later. For now, the only secret you need to worry about is my name. So, just to make sure, in the field, I'm always Shining Nova. Got it?
Yep. Ooh. You got it. I need a superhero. You got it.
Yes, ma'am, Shining Nova, ma'am. Totally got it.
Knew you would.
As Victoria walks past me, I feel a metal hand slap against my butt cheek, causing me to hop forward in surprise. Did she just slap us on the ass? I feel like we just got slapped on the ass by Shining Nova. This is not a dating sim. I reaffirm. I promise this is really and truly not a dating sim.
Come on, get that ass in gear.
Not to be outdone, I start after her and try to return the favor. No. Oh god, we broke our hand.
This isn't fair when you're in that thing.
Maybe not, but it's fun.
Now, with a sore butt cheek and a sore hand, I sigh in defeat and follow after her. The forest is as quiet as when we left it. No guards or automated security bots accost us. Not that Lord Bedlam can afford a robot army, but Madame Scorpion definitely can. Either Nova was right and Scorpion didn't realize that we escaped this way, or she's extremely confident that we're not a threat. So this could be a really good start or a really bad one. Hard to say.
So by the way, how will we know when Dynamo...
Boom. A distant boom echoes across the wilderness, shaking the ground and causing flocks of birds to scatter in panic.
That's how. Come on, let's pick up the pace a little. I don't want to leave Dynamo exposed for too long.
Yeah. Victoria starts moving at a jog, armor clanking with each step. I follow. Before long, we reach the very same door that we used to escape, still sealed from the inside and still unguarded. Without hesitation... Without hesitation, Victoria focuses one of her suit's beam weapons on the entrance and activates it, quickly melting through the steel around the door until it falls forward with a thud.
Entrance is clear. Go ahead, I'll watch your back.
Just watch it, huh? A likely story.
Slowly, I start sliding towards the door. I make sure to face Victoria the whole time to keep my posterior protected, but this strategy only makes her laugh.
You know I'll tag that other cheek eventually. You can't keep this up the whole time.
Protect the cake, chat.
Watch me. I can get through these halls backwards any day.
I point to my eyes and then her visor to signal that I'm watching her as I back through the entrance, where I immediately stumble on the lip of the doorway.
That didn't count. Still not in the halls yet, technically.
With an exasperated sigh, Victoria follows me through the breach and we slip into the darkness together. I squint trying to adjust to the lower light, and soon after that I wrinkle my nose. Jesus, it's so musty in here. Is that new, or had I just gotten used to it? Add to that the reasons why I was quitting why quitting was the right call, I guess. We make our way through the loading dock and reach the door to the kitchens, but when we open it, it's hardly any brighter.
Should the kitchen be abandoned right now?
Not
No.
normally, but maybe they evacuated. The lair's never been invaded, so people could be panicking.
Slowly I creep forward through the kitchen. Not that it does me a lot of good with a suit of mechanized armor that's clanking right behind me, but it's instinct, I suppose. When we reach the cafeteria, I'm surprised to find that even the room is dark. Okay, either Miss Dynamo shut down the lair's power, or...
You fools!
It's a trap. I shield my eyes as the light turns on while Shiny Nova snaps to attention, weapons ready.
You've fallen right into my trap, you little shits. Like a lamb liver into a deep fryer. I knew I'd find you here. No one else could figure out how you escaped, but I knew. Chef Antonio always knew.
Chef Antonio, you're a dick. With all the swagger of a proper supervillain, Chef Antonio lumbers out from the corner just as a contingent of henchmen in aprons and hairnets rise up from the tables they've been hiding behind. I didn't realize that we had such a big kitchen staff, yet even with our numbers, it's a little hard to take them seriously when they're brandishing ladles and frying pans.
Figured you might have escaped this way before. I could tell that someone had been through my kitchen. The question was, would you be stupid enough to trespass through my domain not once, but twice? Twice? No one could be that stupid, could they? And yet, here you are, twice as stupid.
Twice as stupid.
Oh no, you got us. Whatever will we do? If only we ran into Madame Scorpion instead. Then we might have stood a chance.
You should be so freaking lucky. The boss lady wanted the traitor alive, but I'd rather serve your head to her on a silver platter. So I decided to keep this little secret to myself.
We have silver
We have
platters?
silver platters? Since when?
Of course we do! What are you implying? That I'm not classy enough for that, huh? I'll have you know that I was a Michigan star chef, you grease stain!
I think you're just confused, man. You have to know that it's Michelin star, right?
Now what do you know? Michigan stars are just as good.
Michigan
just
stars.
As good.
Good job. Way to provoke him.
Don't be too impressed. It's not that hard. Plus, he hates me, remember?
Still, the others will be uncoordinated without orders. Just keep him busy, and I'll handle the rest.
Oh, I just have to irritate him? With an unintelligible battle cry, Chef Antonio charges forward. As Victoria takes off towards the kitchen staff, I unsheath my baton and raise my gauntlet. Here we go. I ready myself as the villainous chef lumbers forward, picking up steam like a truck that's lost its brakes. Only now do I realize just how big the man is. A lot bigger than me, that's for sure. And some of that is definitely muscle, so it's best to be sure that he's stronger too. And he's heading right for me.
Well, shit.
Dodge.
Nope, that's a whole freight train worth of nope.
As he closes the distance, the enraged chef lowers his shoulder, but at the last possible second, I leap out of the way.
Hold still, damn it!
Frantically, I scramble to my feet as the big man skids to a halt. It takes a long time for him to stop completely. Christ, he had some real momentum there. If I'd held my ground, I'd have been flattened. Definitely the right call to get out of the way, but just avoiding him is only delaying the inevitable. I need to find a way to take him down.
I used to be a big deal, you know. The creme de la creme. King of the freaking castle. Then those good-for-nothing inspectors came along with their health code violations and risks to public health and safety.
Wait, are you monologuing?
Well, you know what I have to say to that?
Baloney?
Bullshit, that's what! Bullshit upon bullshit, a whole mountain of bullshit.
That's a whole lot of shit.
But I knew the truth. They were bought and paid for. They had to be. It was those sniveling little weasels and Mama Mozzarellas. They put them up to it. And the funny thing, one of those health inspectors, he looked an awful lot like you. I bet your family ain't you. I bet you were in on it.
You know, I want to deny that, but if you came up with that whole theory in the first place, then I don't think I've got much hope of convincing you otherwise. So hey, if it makes you feel better, it was me, Antonio. I'm the one behind it all. That health inspector, a clone from another dimension that I controlled with my mind. And Mama Mozzarella? Why, Mr. Giamatti, I am Mama Mozzarella.
I knew it! I knew it was you this whole time!
Well, at the very least, I can check convoluted identity reveal off the old bucket list before he reduces me into a chunky meat sauce. Man, what's wrong with me? I can't help but antagonize this guy. I probably deserve this beating, but I can't afford it. Not now. I've got more important things to deal with, so somehow I've got to find a way to beat him. To do that, I need to neutralize his strength, and then I need to hit him with everything I got. I need to lock him in a hold, surprise him, pummel him with strikes. Surprise him, yeah, my only chance is to catch him off guard. I need to use something in my toolbox that he's not familiar with.
You know what? I don't need this to beat you.
I collapse my baton and stow it in my belt, then make a show of raising my fists like an old-timey boxer.
Put him up, big man. Let's go.
Happy to, Pipsqueak. It's your funeral.
The chef grins maniacally, crackling his sizable knuckles as he confidently stalks forward.
You know what? You're right. So on second thought...
I activate my gauntlet's cannon and aim it right at Antonio's chest.
Ah, shit.
I fire 2 blasts for good measure. Though they're non-lethal, they leave the chef's apron singed as he stumbles backwards.
You little shit. This a bunch of below.
Surprise! You got knocked the hell out. Now I'm kinda hungry though, not gonna lie.
As I catch my breath, Nova pulls in for a landing right beside me.
Hey, nice job. That guy was no pushover. You handled him all on your own. I'm impressed.
Thanks. Wasn't easy though.
Never is. But if you stick with this whole hero thing, you'll figure that out.
So with my old rival vanquished and his culinary kingdom covered in blast marks and unconscious kitchen staff, we head for the cafeteria's exit and the hallway beyond. With mechanical precision, Victoria raises her weapon and scans the hallway, checking first her left, then her right.
Clear.
Ooh, that was crisp. You know, if this superhero gig ever falls through, you could always star in some video games. Quick, tell me to stay frosty.
Alright, we're breaking up.
Wow, that was a whole 3 hours faster than usual. But on the plus side, I guess that means we were official?
The only thing official here is that you're officially getting left behind.
No. At that, Victoria hops into the air and starts flying forward, slow enough to maintain control through the labyrinthian hallways, but fast enough to quickly leave me in the dust.
Hey, wait up! I'm Oscar Mike, I swear. Whiskey Tango Foxtrot, come on!
That doesn't seem to help as she only turns to wave a casual goodbye before turning down another hallway in the exact wrong direction.
Other way, superstar.
A moment later, Nova reemerges, hovering sheepishly as she corrects her
I
course.
knew that. Obviously. That's how you know I was joking.
But now I've managed to catch up, and Victoria turns off her thrusters, opting instead to jog beside me as I take a left turn. It's still weird hearing her normal voice from inside that thing, especially when she's embarrassed.
Don't worry. In the games, you'll have a mini-map. For now, all you've got is me.
Okay, fine. Breakup rescinded.
We did it, chat.
Nice. Looks like all those years of memorizing the longest possible route to the bathroom have finally paid off. Who says slackers can't get girls?
Don't mistake correlation for causation here. Seriously though, it's a big help. It would have taken forever to map this place out by hand, and satellite's a no-go. We'll be lucky if our radio's even...
Do you read, Alpha Team? Nova, pick up the damn call.
I'm here. Status?
The birds are grounded, but the queen bitch of the mountain put 2 and 2 together. You've got company headed your way.
Uh-oh.
Don't worry though, she didn't go herself. I'll keep her occupied.
Not for too long.
Sorry, you're breaking up.
Dynamo, promise me.
I promise. Just relax. It's me.
She's gonna get into a knockdown drag-out fight. Miss Dynamo hangs up and Victoria shakes her head. Clearly that's exactly what she's afraid of. I give her a knowing look and pick up the pace. We need to take advantage of the empty halls while we can. And for a time we do. In fact, we make such good progress that I'm starting to feel a little optimistic. Until we round the corner and are greeted by an all too familiar sound.
You fools!
I skid to a halt and reach for my baton, but I freeze when I take in just how many purple-clad subordinates accompany my former boss. That's at least 3 whole squads. It's Lord Bedlam.
Did you think that you could gallivant through the very heart of my domain without I, the omnipotent Lord Bedlam, discovering your presence?
Yes.
Nothing escapes my eye. Nothing! Much less treasonous scum like you, Christie. I never forget the face of a traitor.
Actually, I'm Stan. That's Christy.
I point to a woman who stands to Lord Bedlam's right. He whirls about in confusion before Christie offers a helpful wave.
Wait, I thought you were Moon.
No, that's Moon.
I point to another henchman and Lord Bedlam again starts to look around before quickly giving up.
Enough of this! It doesn't matter if your name is Dan, Spartacus, or much less Shiny Nova. You are a filthy treasonist! You have betrayed our cause, our family, and most importantly, me! And you, hero, you have been a thorn in my side for far too long.
We just met this week.
Far too long, I say. But that ends today on this hollowed ground, with fire in our bellies and villainy in our hearts. The light of your twinkling little star shall at last be extinguished.
Save the big speeches for spells and swords, Lord Lifesbane. It was fun playing with you, but it's time to say hi to your long-lost brother. Unless, of course, you stand down. I know you think that being able to order all these people around makes you strong, but I'm gonna level with you. This still won't go your way. I mean, you can try, but it won't. Your call. I can't make it for you.
No, you can't, because I have already opened the contacts on my phone of destiny and blocked your number. And now, I shall complete the prophecy and delete you entirely. Attack my steadfast supporters. Attack with every weapon, fist, and crude insult you have.
At Lord Bedlam's command, my former co-workers rush forward, some firing beam weapons and others brandishing their batons. Nova returns fire with her own weaponry, which immediately draws the bulk of their barrage. Maybe I should give her some support, but then again, this might give me an opening to counterattack. Fire your wrist cannon, charge, use your shield to cover Nova. No, I'm not the one packing the firepower here. My one little wrist cannon doesn't compare to Shiny Nova's full arsenal. The best way to end this quickly is to give her the chance to unleash it.
Don't worry, Nova. I'm the Princess of Europa.
As soon as the words leave my mouth, the glowing blue shield emerges from my gauntlet. By the time it's fully materialized, I'm already sliding across the floor towards Shiny Nova. I catch her glancing in my direction and nodding in approval out of the corner of the eye. Looks like we were thinking the same thing. As I skid to a halt in front of her, I rise to one knee and angle my shield towards the charging henchman, forming a one-man shield wall. Behind me, Nova crouches down with both arms raised. Oh, y'all are in trouble. I hear a series of mechanisms lock into place as Nova reveals a whole armory's worth of weaponry. Seeing what's happening, the henchmen fire their weapons with renewed fervor. But what doesn't miss entirely collides harmlessly with my shield, leaving Nova free to take aim and brace herself completely unabated.
Just remember, this was your call.
With that, Nova unleashes a barrage of return fire so all-encompassing that it changes the lighting in the whole damn hallway. By the time it dies down, the few henchmen that are left standing have dropped their weapons and decided to flee in terror.
Nice job. That was clean. You're getting the hang of this. Oh, lovely Princess of Europa.
I still can't believe I have to say that every time.
Meanwhile, I noticed that at least one person hasn't fled, Lord Bedlam himself.
Where are you going, comrades? The battle has just begun! Get back here! Get back here and protect me! I mean, destroy this corrupt pawn of society!
Oh, I don't think they're coming back, buddy. It's down to you.
Yes. Yes, it is down to me. Just as it always has been. As it always shall be. I, Lord Bedlam, stand alone against this sickly, rotten society. I, Lord Bedlam, stand against you, an enforcer of unjust laws and unfair message-borne moderation. And I, Lord Bedlam, am the proud owner of a groinal defense cup. Yes, that's right, foul
Last time we
oppressor.
kicked him in the testicles.
Your devious stratagems can no longer affect me. In fact, with my newly fortified, locally sourced, and aggressively trademarked Chaos Armor, your inferior energy beam stands no hope of piercing my defenses. For I, Lord Bedlam, am...
Without a word, Nova casually fires a blast at one of Lord Bedlam's horns, spinning his helmet around backwards.
Ah, you coward! What have you done? Where are you? Coward! Heathen! Fiend! Someone get this thing turned around! Where's that new girl? Kara! Kylie! Katrina! Get this stupid thing turned around!
He really doesn't know, does he?
Not a clue. Come on, let's get out of here before he forgets that I'm a traitor and starts yelling for me next.
With our path cleared, Nova and I start forward down the hall, leaving Lord Bedlam wandering blindly in our wake. By the time he's out of earshot, there's nothing but empty hallways ahead of us. Guess that was the bulk of the reinforcements. Maybe now that we're past them, we have a clear path to the supercomputer room.
Alpha Team? Nova, come in. It's Dynamo.
I read you. What's wrong? Tell me you're not still engaged.
No, I'm not. I pulled out a minute ago.
Good. I take it that means she's headed our way?
Probably, but also, you should know I'm bleeding a little. I don't know how, but she actually cut me.
What? Since when can she... Never mind. Just tell me you're okay.
Yeah, I'm good. I got it while I was retreating, actually. Something didn't feel right, and, well, if you hadn't told me to fall back, it could have been a lot worse. Just do me a favor and step on the accelerator a little. Throw Sunshine over your shoulder if you have to. She's not screwing around here.
Yeah, I figured she might be past the stage of playing with her food. I'll be careful, but you go get yourself patched up ASAP, and don't rush it. An EMT isn't exactly equipped for someone like you.
I hear myself gulp as Nova signs off. Ah, nothing like someone who can shrug off mortar shells telling you to be careful to make the old sphincter clench. Hopefully we have enough of a head start. Of course, as soon as that thought crosses my mind, a door opens next to me. I let out a yelp, and both Nova and I whirl around to find...
Phew!
All this stress is really doing a number on me.
Dave! Dave stops dead. The locker room door is still open behind him.
Hey, Dave!
Hey, Stan.
You remember Shining Nova, don't you?
What's up?
We've met briefly, yes.
Okay, cool. So, we kind of have places to be, but great seeing you. Really great. And if you want my opinion, it's probably all the baloney. You should try changing up your diet.
Stan, not now.
Right, yeah. Like I said, big hurry. Catch you later, though. You look great.
I turn to go, hoping he won't make it his usual fuss.
Found you.
Oh no. Damn, I knew it. Wait, that didn't sound like Dave. That didn't sound like Dave at all.
Down now!
Just as I expected. You'll put up more of a fight in that turtle shell of yours, won't you?
With a groan, I try to peel myself off the floor. My uniform is coated in dust and I'm surrounded by debris. If Victoria hadn't been so quick to scoop me up and dive into the locker room, I might be buried beneath the rubble. Oh, it's Madam Scorpion. My eyes land on a shock of blonde hair sticking out from the rubble. Guess Dave wasn't so lucky. Not his fault. Scorpion slashed an entire wall to pieces. The locker room is now permanently adjoined to the hallway. And stepping through the giant hole where the door used to be is none other than Madam Scorpion herself. Cutting an imposing figure, standing across from her, somehow even Shining Nova's armor seems small.
I'm not here just to put up a fight, Scorpion. I'm here to put you down.
Are you now? I find that hard to believe considering your tactics. Did you honestly think that petulant child had any chance of stalling me for more than a heartbeat? And you actually brought dear Stanley along with you as well? It reeks of desperation.
Hey, Stan, not Stanley.
Don't tell me you and he are. You are desperate in every
Hey!
sense. I knew you had a penchant for broken toys, but not like that. Oh, honey. This explains so much.
Okay.
You don't know anything about me or him. But go ahead. Keep calling me honey. See what smoking crater that lands you in.
I really like her.
Really? Must we continue to trade barbs like common costumed barbarians? Come now, you're better than that. We both are. See? Look. I'm deactivating my weapon. Let's have a little chat, Like professionals?
What exactly do you think there is to chat about?
Besides how hopeless your little lost cause is, you mean? Well, there's the matter of what your cause actually is, for one. What about my pet project warrants such a swift and violent reprisal?
I take it by pet project you're referring to the petabytes worth of private data you stole?
Petabytes, that's a lot.
The problem? My method of acquisition? Surely you're joking. The corporations that owned that data stole it in the first place. Or do you think I'd have been more justified if I made them tick a terms of service box first? Don't be so naive. You're smarter than that.
But those companies aren't plugging that data directly into their goddamn brain just to serve their own twisted ends. There are rules, regulations.
Oh, please. In principle, that's exactly what they're doing. The only differences are that I can do so by myself instead of hiring a whole division, and I'm not masking my intentions. I'm much more honest, really. So why go through all this trouble? Especially when your odds of victory are dwindling so quickly. Even if by some miracle you succeeded, someone else will try the exact same thing. Just less elegantly.
Why? You mean aside from the wanton violence and senseless murder?
Yeah.
Well, there is that. But must we get hung up on technicalities?
I'm afraid we must.
Very well. In that case, I have a confession. Even if you decided to flee, I was going to kill you anyway.
Madam Scorpion bursts forward with death in her eyes and a bloodthirsty grin on her face. Her blade drags behind her, melting a red-hot line in the ground as she streaks forward towards her prey, like the trail of a missile. Nova's left arm snaps up and she fires, forcing the supervillain to dodge by leaping to the side. Briefly, Scorpion runs along the lockers that line the hallway, slicing them in two as she goes until Nova fires once more. This time, she doesn't bother dodging. Instead, she swings her sword to deflect the beam, sending it careening to the side as she pushes off the wall and leaps right at Nova. Give me just a sec, chat, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. I shield my eyes as the blast goes. Damn it, is this how I go? As collateral damage? No, I've got to do something. But when I try to stand, my right leg doesn't cooperate. It looks like I didn't avoid all the rubble. Frantically, I work to free my leg, occasionally glancing back to the battle happening before me. Come on, nothing hurts, but I won't be of any help if I can't move. They're locked in a deadly, spiraling dance now, Nova firing and retreating with bursts from her jets, and Scorpion pursuing with wide, vicious slashes. It's a narrow margin, but Victoria is just maintaining her distance.
Can you feel it yet? The inevitability? You can't keep this up.
Speak for yourself. I've got enough fuel to cross the Pacific. This isn't even a streak.
Not on your shell, little turtle. But you'll slip soon. And when you do, I'll crack it open and rip you apart from the inside.
Scorpion brings her sword down diagonally, and this time it nicks the shoulder pad, sending sparks flying.
That's better. I'm getting used to you already. I had to fight that oafish friend of yours 4 times before I could predict her exactly. But with this network...
2 more slashes and 2 more nicks, this time leaving scorch marks on Nova's chest plate and right thigh.
I only need a few minutes. And that's only because there's not much usable footage of you. You're careful. I respect it.
I don't want your respect. And I don't need footage or a supercomputer to predict you.
As Scorpion closes the distance, Nova suddenly changes course, leaping right towards the supervillain. Caught off guard, Scorpion's horizontal slash misses the high as Nova ducks under it, and Nova swings an armored fist right into the supervillain's gut. Nice!
You like to predict the outcome of a battle before it's over, and once you do, you talk.
Scorpion tries to bring her sword back around, but Nova stops the attack by swinging her forearm into the supervillain's wrist, then delivering a sharp elbow to Scorpion's temple. Yeah, get her! Nova spins, activating one of her thrusters and driving her right foot into Scorpion's solar plexus. The supervillain is sent hurtling across the room, crashing into the sinks. They crack on impact.
It's sloppy, arrogant, and I'm shining. You don't beat me, sloppy.
I really like her. I free my leg just in time to see Nova unleash a multi-shot volley from both arm cannons. Except it isn't aimed at Scorpion. It goes over her head, which ricochets off the mirror and flies towards her exposed back. The only problem is that Scorpion blocked it, and without even looking. She just casually threw her sword over her shoulder and intercepted the blast with the flat of her blade.
Right you are. That's why you beat the leader of the Hellhounds with that move 563 days ago in Chicago. Except that time, you bounced it off that unsightly sculpture. Oh, don't be surprised. I said there wasn't much footage of you, not none. And now that you've shown me how you counterattack, time's up.
Uh-oh. No. No, what just happened? Suddenly, Scorpion spins and slashes through the sinks, cutting the pipes and filling the room with a cloud of steam. The roar of Nova's thrusters quickly drowns out the pipes, filling the room with heat and blowing away the steam. It's a clever move, but it's hard to appreciate it as I cough and sputter.
187 days.
A red blade cuts through what's left of the mist, and while Nova manages to turn in time to take most of the blow on her shoulder, she's still thrown back. Sparks and bit of armor flying in her wake.
And before that, 254 days. Anytime you need to clear steam or smoke, I'd imagine. But not for your own sake. No, Stanley. This was for you. She can see just fine with that visor, but you can't. So all I had to do was faint towards you.
Oh.
Your lover's blood is on your hands. I want you to know that.
More arrogance. One clean hit, and you think this is over?
But isn't it?
The supervillain tilts her head in Nova's direction, licks her lips, and then rushes forward. The superhero tries to react, but the damaged suit moves slower than before. Scorpion flows right past its defenses and strikes. Nova is sent flying towards the sinks as Scorpion was before, but higher and faster. She doesn't simply crash through the mirror, but the entire wall. As for me, I'm frozen, not because I don't want to help. I need to help, but how? The fight's been so fast and intense that just spectating has been tough, much less participating. But as Scorpion shoots me a predatory grin and stalks towards Nova, I realize that I have to do something. I don't know if it'll work, hell it probably won't, but now's the time to try. Scorpion's half a room away, but she hasn't reached Nova yet. Maybe I can still get between them, or attack from behind? She's a lot faster than I am, though, so my new cannon may have a better chance. Okay, fire a wrist cannon, use your shield. Yeah, I better stay at range. I don't have Victoria's mobility, I need to stay as far away as possible. Hey, how about you leave her alone? Before cowardice gets the best of me, I raise my left hand, steady it with my right, and open fire. Maybe it was the adrenaline, but that might be the best shot I've ever made with anything. It's headed right at Scorpion's temple, until she leans back at the last second and lets it whiz past ineffectually. She stops and turns in my direction. I hold my aim steady and start to shuffle backwards. Well, at least I got her attention.
You know, that wasn't bad. I think you singed my hair.
Yeah, I bet you have expensive conditioner.
Congratulations, Stanley. You've won the honor of dying first.
Yeah, I feel like you've made that threat a lot. What was it you said back then? Promises, promises.
With no time for precision, I fire at will, letting my blasts fly as quickly as my middle finger can let them. But I may as well be blindfolded. Scorpion bobs and weaves past each of them effortlessly, slowly stalking towards me. I start to backpedal, but it's only a matter of time. Crap, crap, crap. The cannon got her attention, but it's not going to stop her. I have to change up or she's going to cut my head off. I need that. I've still got my baton and my shield. Maybe it's time to get creative? Drop kick! Alright, time to pull out all the stops. I lower myself into a sprinting stance and spit to the side, even though it wasn't really anything in my mouth.
Guess it's time to go all out.
With determination in my heart, I take 2 strides forward and leap into the air, going completely horizontal as I kick my legs out towards Madame Scorpion's face. But ultimately hitting nothing but air. In fact, she just kind of walks to the side. Not even quickly. I feel a lot more embarrassed if I didn't immediately crash to the ground and get the wind knocked out of me.
Oh, Stanley. You really should have just stuck to what you're best at.
She reaches down and grabs me by the collar, dragging me halfway to my feet.
Staying out of the way.
Ow. I didn't get the chance to rectify my mistakes. Before I can react, I'm flying through the air, tossed aside like so much garbage. I flail wildly, trying to control my landing, but the impact drives the air from my lungs nonetheless, leaving me gasping for breath as I struggle to my knees.
Was that all you could muster? How disappointing. You fared much better against Shining Nova. While it's not a surprise to see you regress now that you keep her company, it still seems like such a waste.
I pull myself up to my knees and raise my head to the sight of Scorpion stalking towards me once again. She's moving slower this time, step by step, savoring the moments before the kill.
You had potential, Stanley. You really did. You had a knack for the game, for taking the path that served your own interests before anyone else's. That's why your betrayal caught me off guard.
She lazily spins her sword in her hand and shakes her head.
To think you would be one of those fools who would throw your ambitions away for romance. Of all the worthless things.
As she levels her sword at me, I can see that this time her words aren't an act or a mind game. Her stare is one of genuine disappointment.
I truly overestimated you. Farewell, Stanley.
Bitch. Now collapse into nothing. Shining Mirage!
And you call me sloppy? 382 days ago, you... Wait. That's not...
I wasn't able to count the number of weapons that emerged from Shiny Nova's armor before she fired them, much less keep track of the projectiles as they lit up the room in a blinding burst of destructive energy. I try to get cover, but I barely make it up to a foot before I'm scooped up in a pair of metal arms.
Head and hang on.
Protect your head. When I get my bearings, we're back in the hallway, or what's left of it. The entire section behind us has collapsed. Luckily, Victoria got us out in time, along with a familiar but unconscious blonde henchman. As she sets me down and lets Dave's prone form drop to the floor, sparks fly from the gash in her suit's shoulder.
Damn it. You alright?
I pat myself down. Incredibly, I seem to be intact. I'm not even bleeding. I glance down at Dave. He's got a few scrapes, but his chest is rising and falling peacefully. I can't believe she was able to snag both of us.
Yeah, I'm good. What about you?
I think I'm okay. Kepler's just spazzing out a little. If I can disable the arm. There. That'll keep things from getting worse until I can make a field repair.
Her helmet swivels to get a lay of the land before falling on one of the nearby security cameras.
Is there somewhere nearby where you're certain there's no surveillance? Normally, I'd just disable the cameras, but with her, I don't want to risk it.
Right, on it. Let's see. Dorms are nearby. I know at least my room is clean. I triple check that sucker annually. If we're here, then it should be this way. Come on.
Once again, we find ourselves navigating the endless, twisting hallways of Lord Bedlam's fortress, moving carefully to avoid any patrols that could be lurking about. While Nova could probably still take out any henchmen that get in our way, it's not worth the risk of causing even more damage in the process. We need to get her patched up ASAP. As we move, it occurs to me that this will be the last time I wander these halls, the last time where I use an old grease stain as a landmark, while figuring out which direction I need to turn next. Honestly, I won't miss it.
Okay, we should be getting close. If we make a right up here, then...
I start around the corner but freeze. There's a squad of henchmen just up ahead. Quickly, I backpedal until I'm out of sight, and I motion for Victoria to stop.
Guards? Were you spotted?
No, I don't think so.
Cautiously, I poke my head back around the corner. I don't recognize any of their faces. No, wait, these guys all came in the same day as Victoria. They're gig henchmen from the Henchcan app.
Can we avoid them?
Not easily. We'd waste 20 minutes looping around. But I might be able to get rid of them. These are new guys, so they may not know my face.
Alright, give it a shot. I'll cover you.
I nod and take a deep breath to prepare myself, then run around the corner, yelling and flailing my arms like a maniac.
Hey! Hey, you guys!
The henchmen turn in my direction. None of them go for their weapons, so it looks like they don't recognize me after all. Now I just need to get them to leave. Madam Scorpion is dead. Cupcakes are in the break room. Lord Bedroom...
There's free cupcakes in the East break room! There was a birthday today, but since the intrusion interrupted the morning announcements, no one knows about it. Hurry! Grab as many as you can!
The other henchmen glance at each other suspiciously, then promptly bolt in the other direction. Then the other henchmen all glance at each other suspiciously, and then promptly bolt in the other direction, shoving and jockeying for position.
I can't believe that worked.
Really? You just saw our cafeteria this morning.
Okay, that's fair. Good thinking. Now let's... Damn it.
I rush up to Victoria as she doubles over, doing my best to prop her up, despite her heavy armor.
What happened? Are you hurt?
No. Well, nothing serious. I'll be better if I can get out of this thing soon, though. How far away are we?
Not far. Hang on.
I place a guiding hand on Nova's undamaged shoulder and start leading her in the direction of my room. The door to my room slides open and I let out a sigh of relief. My old code still works. Thank goodness. Looks like someone forgot to report my betrayal to HR. Once Shiny Nova and I are both inside, I close the door behind us and engage the locking mechanism. Though mostly for my own peace of mind. Not like it would stop Madam Scorpion if she knew we were here.
Okay, we should be good.
I turned to Nova in time to see her finish her own sweep of the room, which I honestly expected. No matter how thorough my own checks, I don't have a high-tech visor with 18 different types of vision.
Yeah, checks out. Good thinking.
With our privacy assured, she turns her attention to her damaged suit, prodding at the mauled shoulder plate with her working arm.
Not as bad as I feared. Made it a little worse with that last move, but I can patch it up.
That's good. I won't lie, I was a little worried you were going to take us all out with that stunt. What did you call it? The shining eat shit and die attack?
As we speak, the shining Nova suit opens and Victoria steps out. After taking a moment to roll out her shoulder and wipe the sweat from her brow, she laughs and shakes her head.
Oh, that? The shining barrage?
Yeah, that one. I've got to admit, I didn't peg you for the type to call out your big attacks like that. Doesn't seem very tactical to tell your enemy what you're doing.
You're right. It wouldn't be. If it were actually what I was doing at all. See, sometimes when I know there's someone filming, I'll just make up a special move on the spot and never use it again. Then, when I'm up against a supervillain who does their homework, I'll call out the same name, but do something completely different.
That
It's
is really
the perfect
smart.
counter for someone like Scorpion.
Shit, you really are underhanded for a superhero. But why didn't you bust it out earlier?
Because it was only going to work once. She won't take the bait if I try it again.
As she speaks, she opens up the compartment on the inside of the Nova suit and pulls out a set of tools. After picking out the correct one, she looks around for a spot to set other implements aside.
Put them on the TV stand?
You mean the cardboard box?
Yes, I'm glad you noticed the reclaimed cardboard. I like to use repurposed materials in my interior design while maintaining a minimalist, evil aesthetic. I call it boho villain chic.
Oh, very stylish. I'm honored that I was finally able to get a look at it, even if the circumstances aren't ideal.
Well, we already slept at your place. It's only fair that I show you mine.
Oh, is that why you picked the dorms? You wanted to show off your fashionable bachelor pad? Impress me with all the dirty clothes you left on the floor.
Obviously. I can read between the lines. I know what field repair means. Wink wink, nudge nudge, say no more.
Okay, ease off the throttle there, stud. Field repair just means field repair. Speaking of, can you hold this arm steady for me?
Yep. I nod and grab hold of Nova's suit's damaged arm, while Victoria gets started on the repairs. For a time, she works with a quiet concentration, slowly mending the damage, but after a minute...
This is worth it.
Huh? Where'd that come from?
I don't know, it's just... This is cutting it close. Dynamo's hurt, he nearly got killed, and what she said, she's not entirely wrong. People like Scorpion are symptoms, not the root cause. Someone else will try what she's doing, or at least something like it. It's inevitable. They might even succeed. It was selfish of me to ask you to help, to ask you to risk your life for this. I'm sorry.
Screw that and screw her.
Screw that and screw her. I'm fine, Dynamo's fine, you're fine, and who cares what she said? Even she doesn't believe the words that come out of her mouth. They're just meant to get under your skin. You can't let them.
Yeah, you're right. There's no point in counting the bullet holes in our armor until the mission's complete. For now, we just need to patch ourselves up and focus on the objective.
And kick her ass?
And kick her ass.
She smiles softly and leans in. Our lips meet to the jolt of that now familiar spark, and when her eyes open next, there's a new, reinvigorated energy to them. I felt it too, like I'm recharged.
Thanks.
Anytime.
Reassured, Victoria turns to her repairs, occasionally asking me to hold something, but otherwise working in diligent silence. A few minutes later, she finally stows away the last of her tools and sighs in relief.
There, I think that'll do it. Stand back.
Mobility's good, energy level's nominal. I want to go as far as saying all systems are green, but that'll hold. Would you, baby? Alright, let's finish this. Lead the way.
We're making good time as we enter the research wing. The repairs on Victoria's suit are holding up, and I benefited from the breather, though I wouldn't say we're at 100%. There's a decided lack of banter from both of us, and it only gets quieter as we get closer to our destination. We're both waiting for the same thing, or rather the same person. Neither of us believes that Madame Scorpion is down for the count, and the longer we go without running into her, the more I'm worried about what she has planned. An ambush, surely, but when? And yet, even when we reach the final hallway, my hallway, there's nothing. No ambush, only a handful of guards that Victoria easily disposes of, and we get, as we at last get sight of the door number 1385, we pause.
Is it better or worse that she hasn't attacked us yet?
No point in speculating, but when we open that door, I expect her to be there waiting for us.
Victoria takes a deep breath and then starts marching forward with heavy, determined steps, visor locked on our destination. I follow suit, matching her pace.
Remember, our target is the network. As soon as you see an opening, go for the mainframe and I'll keep her occupied. If the situation's still under control by then, just shut down the network when the prompt appears. But if she's giving us trouble, activate a feedback loop instead. That'll dump more data than she can process into her brain in one massive surge. It'll be excruciating for her, at least in theory, so I'd rather avoid it if I can. But it won't cause any lasting damage, so if things are looking dicey, don't hesitate. Got it?
Got it. Just plug, play, and press when prompted. No problem.
Plug, play, and press. A few steps later, there we stand, staring at the door number 1385, a door I've seen 1,000 times before. Somehow it looks different. Sturdier?
I know what you're thinking. Don't. You're walking back out through that door, Stan.
She turns to face me, and for a moment I feel like I can see her eyes behind the helmet.
We both are. Together.
I know.
Waiting to bring that one back around, huh?
Hey, you teed it up.
Together we take in this last moment of silence, and together we open the door. The room's just as we left it 2 days ago, if a little more lively. The supercomputer fills the room with a low hum, and the coolant tanks bubble with activity. But most importantly, a lone woman sits on the steps in the front of us, legs crossed as she examines her nails.
There you are. First you make a mess of my 7th favorite fortress, and then you keep me waiting. You'll understand if I take offense.
Madame Scorpion rises from her seat, brushing her hair aside. Not even one strand is out of place. I clench my teeth. If she got out of that without a scratch, what's it going to take to stop her?
Offense intended, with enthusiasm.
Unsurprising. For a time, I wasn't sure what you and that brutish brat had in common. But now I see it. You are both wholly lacking in manners. And neither of you knows when you are beaten.
Haven't you learned your lesson about premature celebrations yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, haven't you? You should have, because it'll be on the exam. The justice exam.
Oh god.
Thanks, Stan.
Hey, cut me some slack. This is my first day working on this side.
And it will most assuredly be your last, Stanley. Call it premature if you wish. But it is your reality. Do you know the best part about my ability? The closer my calculations get to being a mathematical certainty, the clearer the images become in my head. I can see your depths. Blurry now, but growing sharper. They won't be quick, and they won't be clean.
This power's made you delusional, Scorpion. The only certainty here is that I determine my own future.
Yeah.
Our future.
Yeah.
And when it comes to that future, you don't even make the credits.
I switch my gauntlet into firing mode and raise it, mirroring Victoria's posture. We share a glance and nod in unison, and then we open fire.
Like not even as an extra, or in the special thanks section. Just a total snub. You'll have to add yourself to the IFTB page. See? I'm getting better.
Great, real proud of you, just please keep firing.
Yeah, for all the good it's doing, Scorpion's just calmly weaving through our onslaught like she's practicing for a dance recital, only occasionally raising her sword to lazily bat away a blast for fun.
I told you before, your time is already up. I know what you're going to do before you do it.
Even you don't believe that. Not yet, anyway.
Nova stops firing and jets forward, abruptly. Scorpion ends her waltz and races to meet her, but the clash never occurs. Instead, Victoria pulls up at the last second, shooting straight up into the air.
There's more room for me to maneuver in here. You might know how I move on the ground, but not in the sky.
Give it time, little turtle. Give it time.
No, I'm good, thanks.
With that, we resumed fire, this time from 2 different angles. Suddenly, Scorpion's movements are no longer listless as she bobs and weaves about the room with much more urgency, but no less grace. We have yet to do any real damage, but she's clearly on the defensive. Is this my chance to reach the supercomputer? Keep waiting. No, it's too soon. Scorpion may get more dangerous with each passing second, but moving too urgently could lead me right into her hands. So instead I keep firing, glancing up at Nova. She must be planning something, but what? Surely it isn't to keep firing until we hit her, and then I see it. With each move Scorpion makes, she draws closer towards the right side of the room and the coolant tanks. Unlike me, Victoria is not trying to hit the supervillain. She's forcing her to dodge in that particular direction. But Scorpion realizes that too. She laughs as she glances over her shoulder.
All that for such an obvious ploy. You may have gained wings, little turtle, but no sense of strategy.
And like that, Scorpion changes direction, almost mirroring Nova's move from the locker room, but on a grander scale. With terrifying speed, she charges forward, deflecting attacks as she goes. As she nears the superhero, she leaps upward, sword raised, and I realize this is my chance. That was Victoria's real plan, to draw Scorpion away from the supercomputer and towards her.
Superheroes. Always throwing themselves in front of the damn train.
But there's no time to argue. This is the best chance we'll have, so I stop firing and sprint towards the supercomputer at full speed. The sound of the battle grows quieter as I near my destination. It seems like Victoria's got Scorpion contained, at least for the moment. With no one in front of me, that should give me just enough time. Just plug and play, easy. I can handle this, I can handle it.
So, hero, you have made it past my defenses. Well done. But it is not enough. You are not enough. Not for I.
Oh no, it's the boss. I love the little crooks.
Not for I. I who rules this mountain with a gilded fist. I who dares to laugh at fate and challenge gods. I who can avoid IP and user bans with absolute impunity. I who... Wait, hold on. Let me just... Confound it. What are you doing here, Steve? Where's the other one? You know, glowing mecha explosion person or whatever she's called.
I mean, it's a CL. It's a callback to the supervillains. It's like he's meant to be impractical. The costumes are meant to look cool, not be cool. I jerk my thumb over my shoulder, pointing towards the much more intense action happening on the other side of the room.
Over there. And the name's Stan. Come on. I even have a name tag now.
I have a name tag. I tap the name tag Victoria gave me with my finger, and Lord Bedlam peers forward to get a better look at it.
Ah, so you do. S-T-A-N. Stan. Yes, I knew that. I just...
Suddenly, the aforementioned action happening over my shoulder catches his eye.
Wow, look at them go. Is she really going to...
I think she just did. It's getting pretty intense over there.
Yes, but here we are instead. And that's how it's always going to be for you and I, isn't it, Sam?
How do you mean, sir?
Some do. Yeah, he's definitely meant to be one of the more impractical characters, as we saw by the last time we fought him. So far, we've beaten him by kicking him in the groin and turning his helmet around.
Oh, just the story of my life. Always the vice president of brand management, never the president. Always the lone supervillain without a society, without a nemesis, even after so long. Alas, alack! I struggled and I bled. I raided grocery stores and organic juice stands. I posted mean things about superheroes on social media. And what do I have to show for it? What, I ask you? Here I stand, second fiddle in my own fortress. No, not even a fiddle. Something worse, like a lute or a ukulele.
Ukuleles are
What
cool.
am I to make of this, Trevor? What am I to do?
You could, let me go?
Let you go?
Yeah, just let me, scooch on by you there. I'll just plug this thingy into that computer real quick and get out of your way. You won't even notice me.
Ah, I see what you're doing. The reverse psychology tactic, eh? Just plucked that lesson from the old Lord Bedlam learning tree, did you? Well, you're right. The spotlight may not be on us, but we should still make the best of it. Our time will come one day, Sean. Our time will come. Well, not yours, of course, but figuratively speaking.
Nope, no reverse psychology. I was really just trying to get by. And I just told you my name is Stan. You read the name tag and everything.
Ah, of course.
He's really strong compared to us. I don't want to fight him.
I just misread your tag, that's all. You should really work on that handwriting.
This is Victoria's handwriting, so I know it's good.
Well then, Stan, let's take it from the top, shall we? Ah, at long last, you have arrived, my greatest nemesis, Stan! And now it is down to you, and it is down to I. Just as it always has been. Just as it always will be. Until today. Because today, you shall finally taste defeat. And then it would just be down to I. Not you. Not you at all.
Yeah, he could. I mean, he's. I don't know 100% what his powers are, but I imagine he's really strong because he's a Minotaur.
Now come forth, you traitorous scum! You cowardly turncoat!
Madam Scorpion's pretty nasty, though. I wouldn't mess with her.
Come forth and face your destiny! Come forth and experience chaos! Embrace pandemonium! Behold true, unadulterated Bedlam!
He does the monologue so well.
Ugh, fine.
Excellent! Then let us begin! For the first time and the last!
Okay, Ooh.
Last chance to walk away. We don't have to come to blows.
Oh, but I think it does, hero. It must come to blows, fisticuffs, and even pugilism. Yes, especially pugilism.
Not pugilism.
But first, feast your eyes on my deadly Bedlam bolt.
I'm sorry, Bedlam what? With a completely unnecessary flourish of his cape, Bedlam pulls a small taser from his hip, points it at me, and fires, only for the wires to fall a yard short, where they spark pitifully.
Well, take that as a warning, foolish hero. A shot across the bow, a boop on the nose. It would be a waste to astound you with my full power right away. You see, for years I trained to control my strength.
Alright, I can see this is never going to end if I just let him monologue like this. Time to go on the offensive. Maybe I can try Nova's tactic from when we escaped. Blast him. I raise my gauntlet, switching it to firing mode, and prepare to take care of this problem the way the good Lord intended, by blasting the absolute shit out of it with a laser cannon.
How's this for a shot across the bow?
Before Lord Bedlam can launch into another monologue, I open fire with a pair of blasts aimed at his chest. But before they find their mark, the supervillain crosses his gauntlets in front of him defensively, and both beams bounce right off of them.
Oh, good, that worked. I mean, aha! Of course that worked! I told you those weapons were no match for my made-to-order, patent-pending Chaos Armor! I told you!
I sigh and lower the gauntlet. Yeah, I guess he did tell me. I just kind of thought he was full of shit.
Yes, and this armor is but a fraction of my true power. And not a nice, even fraction.
Shooting
like
soap
4
bubbles
or
out of
8,
his finger.
but it
That'd be a
is
cool
only
power. You
hard
could clean
work,
stuff.
Like a 7 or 13. Now behold my true, absolute power.
Okay. The supervillain spreads his arms wide, cape flapping behind him. I square my stance, preparing for whatever trick he's ready to pull. Another weapon, or does he actually have a hidden superpower? Still, I swear if he shoots bubbles out of his fingers. Nope, he's just planning to throw himself at me, and because it's the last thing I expected, it sort of works.
Yeah, get off of me, you nutcase!
Never! I shall never surrender!
For several moments, we roll around on the ground engaged in the lamest, purplest wrestling match ever conceived, and hitting each other with whatever limb is available. Ah, damn it, one of his stupid horns smacked me in the side of the head. That's it. I'm freaking biting him. I don't care how unheroic it is. But before I can follow through, someone roughly pulls us apart, tossing me aside in the process.
Ah, who dares to interrupt our duel? Who dares, I say?
I do, Lord Bedlam.
Dave!
Oh, it's you, Daniel. Thank goodness you're here.
I'm Dave, actually. Stan's supervisor. You reprimanded me earlier today. Remember? It was when you found out the traitor was in my squad.
Ah, yes, of course. I remember now. Lots of things were said, but all is forgiven if you help me bring this backstabbing brute to his knees. What say you, Dave?
Senior squad supervisor. As I scrambled to my feet, I glanced between Dave and Lord Bedlam. Ah, crap. One of these two I can handle, but both at once, I could really be in trouble here.
I say, Stan is my friend.
Aw, Dave.
Yes, excellent. Now, wait, what was that?
Stan is my friend. He's been nice to me, even when he didn't have to be. Even though I wasn't always fair to him. And his superhero buddy saved me. Even though it put them both in danger. But you, I've been loyal.
Just a sec, Chad, I'm sorry.
Hard. I've given you the prime of my life because I believed in you. Even though sometimes I'm not entirely sure what you're trying to accomplish.
Sorry about that. My mic was messing up on me.
But you barely acknowledge me. You can't even remember my name.
Now hold on, that was an honest mistake. I'm just not good with names, that's all.
That's fair. I mean, some people...
It's not about the name, it's about me! I've always been so proud to have this job. But if keeping it means that I have to hurt someone who actually treats me with respect, then forget it! And forget you! You gosh darn two-faced, lily-livered, super jackass!
I've seen a lot of wild shit today, but out of everything, it's Dave calling Lord Bedlam a jackass that gets my jaw to drop to the floor.
People actually say lily-livered?
Dave does. Oh.
Ah, wait! Lily-livered is a fine thing to say, and you're a fine henchman. What if I gave you a bigger promotion? Let's say vice president of something or other.
I love the dings.
Okay, executive vice president. And I'll throw in one of our spare, extra-large hoodies.
Get him, Dave.
Right, point taken. Message received. No hoodies, but what about our cause? The infinite waltz of glorious, super glorious conquest. Friend? Pal? Buddy?
You were never my buddy. Just my boss.
Aww.
Stan's my buddy.
Dave.
Right, Stan?
You're gosh darned right, buddy. You're gosh darned right.
Oh, we both turn as an explosion echoes from across the room. It looks like the other shutdown over there is nearing its climax. Better hurry. I turn to Dave and offer a solemn nod.
Well, like my papa always said, do what you gotta do, buddy. I'll get him out of here.
Thanks, Dave. I owe you one.
Nah, I'm the one paying you back the favor. I think. Good luck, buddy.
With that, Dave turns his attention to the unconscious Lord Bedlam, intent on dragging him to safety, and I race onward towards Madame Scorpion's supercomputer. Time to end this. As I near the supercomputer, I fumble around in my belt for the data drive that Victoria gave me. Come on, which pouch did I put it in? There! Oh no. Briefly, I bobble the drive as another explosion rocks the room, but I quickly regain control. Phew. Too close. Imagine if it had fallen into a vent or something. That would suck. Nervously, I glance over my shoulder, and the sight does little to ease my worries. Victoria is picking herself up from a small crater of shattered concrete, her armor sparking as she moves. Looks like those field repairs gave out, but damn it, I took too long getting past Bedlam. I need to hurry.
Told you. It was just a matter of time. Patterns always form. It's human nature. And now that they have, I can see your future. I can hear your last scream. I can...
Madam Scorpion whirls around towards the supercomputer and her eyes land on me, standing stock still with my hand still on the blue and white data drive that I just inserted into the towering machine. Meanwhile, the data drive goes right to work just like Victoria said it would, uploading first to the supercomputer itself and then the entire network. When it finishes, Scorpion's powers will be crippled.
Oh, don't let me interrupt. That sounded like a good speech. Go on. You were at the third I can. The third one's usually the punchline for these things.
Stanley, how did you... Did that incompetent windbag actually let you past him? How could that imbecile screw up such a simple, solitary task?
You have literally hung out with Lord Bedlam.
I don't know. Maybe you should talk it over with him. Just conduct a quick,
I'm just pressing buttons. I glance at the computer's maintenance monitor where I can see the percentage bar on Nova's malware upload creeping slowly higher with every
30,
second.
Maybe 40-second performance review. A minute tops?
30 seconds. Good. I can kill you in 30 seconds. With ease.
And in a flash she sets out to do exactly that, sprinting towards me at full speed with her sword trailing behind her. I start to back up, frantically reaching for a weapon as I move, but it will be far too late. Forget 30 seconds, she's gonna kill me in a frickin' instant.
Stay focused on the screen! Remember the plan!
Nova rockets forward towards the intercept to intercept the supervillain. One arm hangs limply as she careens through the air. Despite how the fight has gone thus far, Nova's thrusters still make her faster of the two.
You dare turn your back on me, Scorpion! We're not finished!
They're on a collision course. At the very least, Scorpion will need to alter her trajectory, but will that give the malware enough time?
Finished? You were finished the moment you got in my way.
But Madam Scorpion doesn't alter her trajectory. Instead, she just barrels straight towards the wounded superhero, and in a flurry of violent crimson slashes, she casts Victoria aside with brutal efficiency. Hey! Stop that! There's a crackle of electricity and shards of Nova's armor clatter to the ground as it finally gives way. My blood runs cold.
Nova!
She can't help you, Stanley. No one can. It's over.
Suddenly, a small chime sounds from the supercomputer's console. Nova's malware upload is complete, and in place of the progress bar, the touchscreen is taken up by two large buttons.
Hey, you were right. It is over.
One button says network shutdown and the other says infinite initiate feedback loop. Though Scorpion desperately reaches out to stop me, my finger's already headed towards network shutdown. The network shutdown button, and before she can reach it, it finds its mark. The lights on the supercomputer flicker momentarily and then fade out as the machine shuts down for good. Out of curiosity, I mash as many nearby buttons as I can. Nope, nothing.
What have you done?
You got stand!
I think I just bricked your shiny new computer here. Did you need it for anything? Nah, you didn't need it. Not like you spent years and millions of dollars setting all this up, right? Because if you did, whoo boy, that'd be a shame.
Hundreds of millions, actually. More money than you could have amassed in a dozen miserable lifetimes.
Probably, yeah, that sounds about right.
I'm not you. I can make that money back. Once I do, I'll rebuild my network, and then my plans will be right back on track. It will take time, but I will get there. The real shame, Stanley, is you, and what you've just done with your future. Until now, I was simply going to kill you, but you've changed my mind. Now, I'm going to keep you alive.
Thank you? Sword in hand, the supervillain stalks forward. Shit. I turned off the super precognitive murder machine Madam Scorpion by shutting down the network, but it did nothing to slow down plain old Madam Scorpion 1.0. And that Scorpion could already tangle with the likes of Miss Dynamo. Suddenly, realizing the gravity of my situation, I start to backpedal, but before I get far... I am struck with a backhanded slap so hard that my feet actually leave the ground before I crash down to the earth. I cough and see blood staining the black floor.
You'll not walk away while I'm speaking, Stanley. No, I don't think you'll leave my side again. I'm going to make a living example of you. Of what happens when someone betrays me. By the time I'm through with you, you'll be a mute, limbless stub of a man that I drag around on a chain, broken in every way.
Ow. I try to stand, but a black boot steps on me, the heel grinding into my chest.
I think I'll leave one of your eyes, though. I want you to see what I do despite your ill-conceived sacrifice. I want you to see it, and know that all your pain and suffering wasn't worth it.
She levels her sword at my face, and I know she's not exaggerating. She means every word.
Neither you or that little turtle know how to play this game to win. And you will endure a lifetime of torment because of it. And all for nothing. Your lover is dying in a heap of scrap. And it was all for nothing.
Suddenly, a beam of light strikes Madame Scorpion's hand, sending her sword flying. The supervillain turns to face her assailant, but...
You just never learn.
Yeah, Shining Nova! From out of nowhere, Victoria soars into view, engines roaring as she crashes into Madame Scorpion.
The furthest thing from dead!
Get her! You got this! With the force of a train, the pair slam into a wall of the chamber, but its Scorpion takes the brunt of it, letting out a gasp of pain even as she claws at Victoria's damaged armor.
For now, but not much longer. That shell is giving out. This is suicide!
Scorpion has a point. Shining Nova's armor is being torn apart at the seams. Sparks and bits of metal trail in Victoria's wake as she brightly burns from her thrusters. The damage it took from Madame Scorpion, combined with the strain she's putting on her right now, won't last long, and it could take Victoria with it, yet still, Victoria doesn't let up.
Selfish people like you never understand! You're willing to sacrifice anything and anyone to win! Everything except yourself! Because that's the only cause you care about!
Somehow Nova's thrusters burn even hotter and she pushes onward, pressing Madame Scorpion into the stone wall of the chamber and using her body to bulldoze a road through its hard stone walls. Stone debris falls to the ground alongside bits of metal as Madame Scorpion struggles to free herself, desperately clawing at her assailant, frying the gaps in their armor.
But I care about more than just winning. I care about every life you ruined, and every line you've crossed, all in the name of your own ambition!
Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh.
And yeah, I care about my weird henchman boyfriend!
Love you too, honey.
So I'll give everything to stop you, even if it kills me. Whatever it takes. Because as long as even a scrap of this armor is working, I'm still Shining Nova, and Shining Nova can do anything!
Hell yeah, she can. With deadly velocity, both superhero and supervillain slam into the dormant supercomputer, and the ensuing explosion sends me flying backwards. Coughing and waving away the smoke, I peel myself off the ground and try to find my feet. I couldn't fully make out what happened. I don't see either of them. No, don't tell me.
Nova! Nova!
I stumble forward, nearly tripping over a piece of debris. I still can't make anything out. No, wait, over there.
Sup?
Hell yeah, you did it! Absolute champion. With ginger steps, Victoria emerges from the wreckage of the supercomputer, what's left of her mangled armor falling off her as she goes. Sparks from the decimated machine and her own shredded armor dance around her, and in this moment, they look as beautiful as the stars we flew beneath them last night.
Hey, you okay?
Are you okay?
Yeah, I was just having a moment, I think. You're incredible, you know that? Asking if I'm okay after what you just pulled? I mean, you dive bomb into a supercomputer and you ask if I'm okay. Really?
Yeah, really? I meant what I said, you know. I really do care about my weird henchman boyfriend.
Aww.
And I care about my crazy superhero girlfriend. Hell of a time to put a label on this thing, by the way.
Why is that? Having second thoughts?
Not a chance. You just have a flair for the dramatic, that's all. But please don't pull the self-sacrifice lever every time we hit a milestone, alright? Hey babe, it's our anniversary, so I'm just going to dive bomb this lizard monster into an oil tanker to recreate our first date. See you at dinner, hopefully.
Sorry, that's part of the deal. As a superhero, I have to pull at least one stunt like that a month. It's contractual. Though, admittedly, that one was a little dicey.
She pauses to rip off a piece of armor that's barely clinging on and tosses it aside. As it happens, it lands in a pool of jet black hair belonging to an unconscious Madam Scorpion.
It worked out, though. Luckily, without her network, she wasn't able to think of a way out of that in time. Might have been easier to hit her with the feedback loop, but I'll never fault anyone for showing restraint.
Okay. Chat, I have played longer than I intended to, and I am going to be late for something, so I have to go now. I'm really sorry. I would love to finish this out. We will come back and finish this. It'll probably be a really short little thing. Maybe very late today. Possibly tomorrow. But we will finish their story. I don't know if there's much more to it, but I have to go right now. So, we love Victoria. We love Shining Nova. We love Stanley. This is such a great game. Again, this is Henchman. Go get it. It's not an expensive game. There's a lot of replay value because you can make different choices. I love this game. The VA work, the art, the story, everything's awesome. Until next time, play more games and be safe, everybody. Bye.